Okay, you can tell by the picture it's two old guys and you should know who they are by now. The other part is because our lips are moving, we're still alive. That's what's important. So we're like 60 to 90 days away from winter. So we want to help everybody out by getting you started on some information that Ted and I have built up over the years by talking to customers and being on the mountain and seeing problems. Yeah, of how you might get prepared for this season on your own at home. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Are you prepared?
I got 90 days. Yeah, I'm good.
No, for the camera.
I'm prepared, more or less.
Okay, so we're good on that. We're going to stop and say, hey, stand by. So cut.
Okay, so it's the summertime, and this is the long wait between snows. And what do we do in that time period? And what I personally do, Jim does, we work over what we did in the winter. And there you start to think about, what do I need when I'm out on the mountain? So because I have all this time in front of me, I'm going to get physically in shape to work, to go out and play in the snow. And I do lots of physical things. So I do a fair bit of walking. I hit the gym a couple of times a week and move some weights around. Not working on bulk or size or anything like that, but working on my entire body so it's in physical condition to be out in the snow and running around and doing all that stuff. When I'm at home, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to squat. I'm going to pull on my legs. I'm going to do all of those things because I'm going to need that out on the mountain. That's a summer preparation. Mentally, I may be going over with my board and touching it and seeing how it works and going over all of those really esoteric theories which will drive you around the bend, but they're fascinating. It's off season. Enter the romance of snowboarding all year round. I think that's about all I have to put onto that.
Okay, so I'm back on camera. What I want to talk about is life habits that you people need to break prior to coming to the mountain, and understand those habits are not as usable as they are every day. In normal life, I face forward just like I'm looking at the camera. That is going forward. This is my left, this is my right. The problem is that we spend a whole part of our life growing up using motions that work in the same direction. I sit down, I sit back, I stand up, whatever. But remember that my left was still my left and my right was still my right. However, in snowboarding, this is not my left. This is my right. I'm a left foot forward standing person, left and right. I'm a right foot standing person, still my left, still my right. Don't get confused about what foot is in the front, whatever. The most important thing is, can you maintain a line that is straight ahead? And that is here. So you will be in this position, you'll turn your head. You won't turn your hips, you'll just turn your head and hold that line. That's your job. So snowboarding is relatively simple if you get out of the habit of turning your chest forward to see where you're going. So I hope that's simple and clear for everybody, because a straight line is the safest line you can take. A line like this, when you bring your new people out to begin, is the most tripping line ever. You will fall across the board because it's only that wide. So you have a long board, you want to let it run across a flat area, have a nice day, smile, and go home the same way you came in. That's my new point that I want to take in coming to boarding. I'm done.
All right. From before we're at the mountain, now we're at the mountain, and we're going to go outside. We're going to collect our snowboard. We're going to go outside, and we're going to get our first orientation to riding a snowboard. All right. And there'll be many things, and I'll have to use some words to describe pieces of the board so we know what we're talking about, and also some references to your body. But for starters, we were in lodge. We determined where your stance was. We got the bindings set up according to you. This is set up for me. I'm a left foot rider. I'm a little bit duck, not much.
And in the position that he's in, notice also the nose of the board is pointed to me,
Yep.
which would be your line of travel.
And we're going to pay
Direction
attention
pointed
to
at.
that
It's
all
pointed
the time.
at me.
Here's another aspect to think about. When you look into your line of travel, look that way by turning your head and trying to leave your shoulders and hips aligned this way. It'll help for the boarding later on. It is more maybe difficult to do to hold your body that way, but when you do this, because you want to keep your eyes down the hill and on the nose of your snowboard,
Too much of your body has crossed the line that you were holding.
You've shifted your weight and you've changed everything that's going to go on down in the board.
Correct.
So it will work against you then.
Okay, Ted's back on. He's in alignment with his board, and he's lined up through that stick in the center, all the way up through his body. Everybody can see that, right? So Ted, do too much opening of the shoulders and the hips. Notice that the stick moved over too, although Ted did kind of put more weight on his back foot there, and that's what will happen to you when you open up too, okay? So come back to neutral. Athletic stance is back. We can ride. Okay, so Ted's back on the film,
Here.
and I interrupted him and stopped him,
Here's my position.
and I took him out of this alignment that you're looking at right through the nose of the board and through his body. The next thing he's going to do is he's going to bring in a new skill by moving his feet and stepping across. So go ahead.
Okay, so if I step across here, I can dig in, bite with the toe edge.
Which is on the right side of his board.
And I'm thinking I'm going downhill. So
Yep.
the toe edge, and this is where it's all going to go.
Yep.
If I was going to do a flat board downhill, which will happen, but it'll get kind of shaky. And
The hill could move you around a little.
I want to do a heel side. On flat ground, I step back to discover this.
Yes. So if you remember the stick I put in front of Ted, basically he crossed that line on both steps. He crossed that line that he's standing on.
Okay.
Because remember, your line and that line work together. When you cross it, you get what Ted showed you, which was an edge angle change.
Okay. Now, my last bit on this. All right. If I want to stop this board,
Which you do.
which I do, and especially if there's something in front of me, that's when we introduce a turn, because I need to bring the board perpendicular to the
So
hill.
that would be where?
The hill goes down,
So bring yourself perpendicular
and
to me.
perpendicular to the hill would be this.
And so that would bring him to there. Did you notice that Ted steered that around with his leg, ankles, knees, and hips through a rotary motion?
I'll show you
Towards
that
me.
again, because that's worth
That's a
more.
rotary motion.
I would
okay?
do the same thing in the snow.
So my recommendation to people coming out with your beginners are, don't make them do what Ted just did,
No.
because that is a higher skill later in the day.
And it slides.
Your job is to point them down where Ted was pointed right at me, let them slide and come to a natural stop. Therefore, you do not need to take them up the mountain higher and higher and higher. And when you show up the mountain and your instructor takes you out and stands you on a hill right away and tells you to point and go down, your question in your mind and in Ted's mind is, how do I stop? Well, God help you if it's icy, etc. God help you if the instructor hasn't slid first and come to a natural stop without coming to the position that Ted's in now. And that's all we're going to say. So we hope you guys will take this on board and go with it, and we will expand on it as we get closer to the season.
This is uphill. This is the edge that's biting. I'm trying to stop by doing that.
Yep.
Okay? we'll talk about more of your orientation, and so you understand where you're standing,
Right.
what will happen, and so on. That'll come later.
So to help you, a little secret. While you're walking up a set of stairs, see if your body leans forward. And when you're walking down a set of stairs at a hotel, see if your body leans back a little. Have a nice day.